So your parents came to visit?
They did. They saw it on Sunday.
What did they think of it?
They loved it.
Wait, they were there the same night? No.
Same day, yes.
Same day?
Yes, we had 2 shows. Afternoon.
Early afternoon show. What did they think?
Loved it. Loved it. Loved it.
And it's like the Pasadena Playhouse is iconic.
It is.
It's iconic. So how did it feel to like play there?
It's a deeply lauded theater company. It's 100 years old.
Mhm.
It's one of I think the oldest in California, I believe. And goosebumps, chills, all the things working there. I had to pinch myself every single day. I mean, just looking at that stage, the theater, you know, to be part of that history now, gobsmacked. And we had it confirmed at the cast party when we closed on Sunday. This is the most successful production in their 100-year history, both financially and critically, with audiences and critics alike. Los Angeles had seen nothing like this show at all. And to be part of it. I mean, you saw it. I was just a minor, teeny, tiny cog in the machine.
It didn't really seem like it. I mean, you had a compared to like your other opera role parts, it was that. But like, you were kind of the only one really singing, though.
Well, there were 2 others.
But not as much as you were.
Well, because I was playing the singer.
The singer of the play.
Correct.
Yeah.
You know, I will... well, technically, like, you know, Jared and Alicia, the 2 other opera singers, they were also singing opera stuff, but, like, I'm the only named character whose job it was to sing, who was the opera singer diva. And Lauren, our Constanza, also is a brilliant soprano herself. So it's and as we discussed, it's actually not a singing role. It's silent. It even says it in the script. You know, she usually lip syncs this because they don't usually hire opera singers. That's what made this production so special, because the audiences got to hear Mozart's music live. You know,
and you did so well at portraying it.
Oh well, thank you. I try.
And it's what I thought. I didn't know it was like part fiction as well. I was like, this really happened? This is crazy.
It's actually mostly fiction. It's a misnomer that Salieri and Mozart didn't get along. They didn't love each other.
Yeah. If you guys don't know this story, Salieri is another composer, per se. And it wasn't... They didn't study with each other ever, did they?
No, not at all. You know, Mozart came to Vienna. They'd heard about him because he was this once-in-a-lifetime preternatural genius who was composing and playing the piano blindfolded as a boy. But it is mostly Peter Schaffer. That's the author of the play. It is mostly fictionalized, and it's because of, even though the play came before the movie, obviously, it's because of the movie that, you know, the cultural zeitgeist has largely accepted that Salieri hated Mozart and wanted him dead. No, they were not best friends. They probably would not have followed each other on Instagram back in the day, but they did respect each other as musical colleagues.
Yeah.
So that's the truth.
I remember a few months before you booked the actual show, and we were talking about it, and you were talking about like the struggle of like just opera singers, you know, and you were like, I don't know when the next gig is. We have this one planned out down the road. And you're like, I don't know what to do. And then you end up booking this role, and you're getting all this praise for it. And at one of the coolest venues in LA, let alone the world, people all over the world who know theater, know opera, know art, like know the Pasadena Playhouse. And so how's that feeling of, I guess, being at kind of your lowest low to like booking a big job and then potentially having Amadeus go further on, what we were talking about? I don't know if you're allowed to talk about that.
I will keep it mum. I'll just say there is talk about it. I'm not going to say where, but people can probably fill in the blanks. But there is a desire, there is a need, and there are discussions. We'll leave it at that. But it has been absolutely surreal. And it's not just opera singing, not knowing when your next gig is. That's the nature of performing. Whether it's film, television, dance, singing, opera, it's a gig business. You know, I don't have a stable income. You know, I don't know what my next job is going to be. I don't even know what my next audition is going to be. Luckily, right now, I do know what my next gig is going to be because I have that. But
in July, right?
In June and July, yes. I'm going back to San Francisco to do some Puccini. But it's it's surreal because I have a voracious need to just perform. I don't want to just sing opera. I want to act in plays. I want to be in film. I want to do television, musicals, voiceover work. That's why I like to call myself, and I'm going to be very, stereotypical here, I am a singing actor before I would call myself an opera singer. Opera singing just happens to be the best kind of singing I do. It's what my voice loves. It's where it lives.
I think that's why I enjoyed this play more than the opera that I saw you perform in San Francisco.
Yes, he saw Sonnambula, everybody.
Sonnambula.
And all my opera singing friends and your listeners who know opera. Was that your first opera?
No, I believe that was my second. I saw one when I was like pretty young with my grandparents.
So you were a child?
Yeah.
Okay, so
not an adult.
Okay, so
my first opera.
We're going to call it your first opera. So anyway, for all your listeners and my opera friends out there, they will know that Sonnambula is a terrible choice for your first opera. It's not.
It was long.
It's long, and it's not that the music isn't exquisite because Bellini is exquisite, but the story is kind of stupid and it makes no sense. It's, like a lot of opera, there's deeply misogynistic parts, and it's the definition of a park and bark kind of opera, which means literally you're directed to stand and sing. You park and bark because there's not much to do. There's not much action for a non-opera lover, which is why a good opera for action can often be Mozart, as you saw.
Well, not just that, you were allowed to express emotion a little bit more, or even just when you're eating snacks in the chair.
Okay, so you're not the first person who's mentioned that. So another person on a wonderful podcast, it's called, I think, Big Kid Theater Energy.
Oh, yeah. I saw Big Theater Kid Energy.
My apologies to my friends on that podcast. I keep inverting theater and kid. I'll commit it to my gray matter soon, I promise. But she called out the same thing too, and I have another friend, he said that the eating was the best part in the play because I love performing and there's so much you can do without words or music. But you have to be careful. You don't want to upstage anybody, but I was, to quote another musical, I was in my own little corner in my own little chair, Cinderella, Rodgers and Hammerstein.
Yeah.
But it's anyway, my own little corner in my own little chair, eating crackers and those cookies, the nipples of Venus, which were delicious, which is relevant to you. They were from a company called Chalk Zero.
Okay.
There were these ketogenic, zero sugar, low carb, white chocolate, air quote, truffles, and they were delicious.
Did you request it?
No, he didn't, because
those macros.
No, because at first I thought he was doing because yes, in LA where all the actresses want to stay thin in LA. Sure. It was because though our Constanza is, I believe, gluten sensitive, and she has to watch her sugar.
Okay.
So as well, so that's why he got them. But because I actually was going to request, because I have to eat these once a day and twice a day on the weekend, those calories will add up. So I would appreciate it if it's not a real cookie. But he'd already thought of that. And he doctored them up himself with, he shaped them and put a little candy nipple on top. The nipple was delicious. Okay. I'd like to say. But yes, so I'm so thrilled you noticed that part. Yeah. I had so much fun. And as I said in that little video, you can link it to your listeners if you want. I love that part because I was so freaking hungry by that time, especially
by that part of the show.
Yeah, by the top of the first act, because those dresses weigh between 20 and 40 pounds. I don't know. The wig itself is probably 10 pounds. I was starving. So I was eating those pretzels and keto cookies as if they were filet mignon with a side of caviar. That's how hungry I was. But you know me, I have a very plain palate. I eat plain foods like that anyway. Remember, I used to eat a whole loaf of keto bread in one sitting?
Yes.
I love my carbs.
We've grown up.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, thank you for noticing.
Of course.
Yeah, I'm hoping you also noticed how much fun I was having.
You're having so much fun.
I just love acting. I love reacting in the moment because it's not me reacting. You know, it's Caterina Cavalieri reacting. And it's so, and of course, too, as you saw, that show didn't belong to me. That show belonged to Jefferson Mays as Salia. He more than killed it.
Yeah.
He destroyed it. He nuked it. He created the Big Bang all over again.
I don't think I've ever seen that passionate live acting. Also, the seats were great.
Oh,
right there.
yes. You were in the first row, I believe.
Yeah, first row.
Jefferson was right there. Sam was. I was right there. You know, he's. And I wish I could tell you. He loses energy or his voice. He does not. And I asked him, I lose my voice even practicing for an hour, but here you are doing one of the largest roles in theater, sometimes twice a day over the weekend, and you don't lose your voice. What's your secret? And he said, I don't know. He doesn't really go on vocal rest.
If you guys don't to put it in perspective, he was yelling and screaming
gutturally from his throat.
Yeah.
And it's just, and it was so delightful to see him change his performance subtly each night. Like the inflection, the tone, the incantation. He is a walking masterclass. And Sam as well, who played Mozart, and Lauren. It was like I got
How old is Sam? He looks young.
He is. I think he won't kill me if I say this, but he's in his mid-30s, I want to say, or early 30s. Yeah. Just a puppy. For all you Bridgerton fans out there, he's a member of the Bridgerton universe.
Oh, really?
Yes. Brimsley, I think he plays, is who it's called. If I remember.
Cool.
Yeah.
The whole play kind of
young one.
The whole play kind of gave Bridgerton vibes in terms of the outfits.
Yeah, a little about 50, 60. Well, no, I haven't. A few years before, maybe it was actually. I don't know when that's set. But it did. I mean, the costumes too. I'm just okay. Yeah. I would have gone to Trader Joe's in that dress. I would have gone to Target in that wig.
Okay, did you enjoy wearing all these heavy clothes?
Yes.
Well, okay.
Yes.
Because when I hear, I have a lot of dancer friends.
Oh, yeah.
And so they put a lot of corsets on, or they'll put on a lot of costumes as well, or dresses. And they're low-key during the presentation or their act are dying. And they're like, get me out of this.
Oh, I'm still dying. And I'm happy to get out of Intima Civis when the night is over. But, oh, no, I kissed that dress goodbye when I left on Sunday. No, I adore, and it's a character, you know, in the same way the Enterprise is a member of the crew on Star Trek. The costume is a character. It's an embodiment of the time and era, the Age of Enlightenment, in which Amadeus is set. Oh, no, I love it. I actually was not wearing a corset. That was my waist. But I did have one thing that was hard. I was wearing, it's called a peignet. That's that thing that makes your hips look, that floof.
Yeah.
And so I did have, unlike my other lady co-stars, Alicia and Lauren, who I don't know how they did this. They didn't go to the bathroom in their dresses. They cut all liquids. I can't do that. I'm not that gifted. I'm just guzzling down water. So I had to
sing for sure, right?
I know. And all the talking Lauren had to do. So
they didn't drink water at all?
They probably did, but just not as much as I did. I had tea, water, all of it. But so I'd have to, if I went to the restroom as a lady normally does, I worried that I wouldn't be able to see the dress, like if it dipped into the bowl.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to treat it like a paintbrush, you know. So I turned around and did it man style and faced the wall so I could control it. But back to the peignet. What made it hard was it wasn't the dress. It was, so I couldn't, it was pulling my underwear up around the peignet.
Okay.
There was no, so I was like, and just like doing this little dance like I had, you know, ants in my pants, just trying to, because I couldn't keep my hands close to my hips because
people don't know what performers go through.
Because my real hips were covered by this giant floof. But yes, and between you and me, I shouldn't say this but whenever I get a new role and I see that the director has elected to place a work in a modern setting, I get a little sad.
Work in a modern setting.
Like if they set an opera that was supposed to be set, say, in the 19th century, they've set it in like the 1920s, I get sad because that means I can't wear the corset and the peigne and the chemise.
What do you like about, I guess, dressing up from a different era?
The opulence of it, the sheer detail that went into the work of the manner of dress.
It's the 67 Mustang versus the Mustang of 2015.
Perhaps, yes. That's a great example. You know, it's that saying, it's like, it ain't like it used to be, you know. At the same time, you know, when I was walking around the theater, you know, we were given a note from costumes, you know, tell the women they got to pick up their skirts, otherwise those hems are going to get dirty. And I was thinking, when they were really worn back then, they were covered in filth, mud, horse feces, animal feces, you know, just, I don't know how they kept those things clean, but the detail and workmanship that went into
that attire
in that time is artistry. And I was lucky enough to wear a dress designed by Linda Cho, who is a goddess in the live performing industry.
Also, the presentation of it, like, you know, some people talk about airplanes, and when people used to fly, they're wearing suits, right? And they're wearing nice clothes. Like, I have the privilege to fly. I have the ability to do this thing and present myself well and travel with strangers. And now everyone's wearing sweats.
Yes.
You know, and so it's like, which is nothing wrong with it.
It's not.
That's just how the culture's going,
yes.
right? But it's kind of cool to dress up for things.
It
sometimes.
really, really
like,
is.
To put on a tux sometimes, or for me at least, or a collared shirt. You know,
it is.
It makes you feel good.
It's and I felt, and you know, we talk about this a lot. We can probably talk about it more. I don't always feel good about
everything.
You know, yes, I usually don't feel good about everything.
Yeah.
And so the chance to play dress up and to
be a character,
be someone else for a while.
What does it do for you?
It's psychologically healing. It's not a panacea. That's what therapy and medication is for.
Yeah.
But for a moment, I can step outside of myself and forget the pain and the trauma. That's what a lot of drag performers say as well. You know, drag lets them be themselves when they don't want to be themselves. Does that make sense? You know, that's another art form I just, you know.
Drag shows are fun.
Oh, I want to be made over one day by a drag queen. I have several on the list. Safira, I'm talking to you. Make me over.
I went to my ex-girlfriend danced for RuPaul's Drag Race, the tour. And so I saw like a legit drag show, and I was like, multiple times.
They're
crazy.
Geniuses.
They're wild. And also, there's a big fan base.
I am one of them. They give me you know.
What do you like about it?
Their confidence, their beauty. And I want to say to all of you ladies in the drag community, how dare you be more beautiful than me? It's not fair. And also, please come give me a drag makeover. I love all of you. No, I think, and it's also hard to be a drag performer in this society right now. I admire their bravery, their artistry, their confidence, their commitment. These queens talk about, they can make the gowns I wore. They make their own wigs. They make their makeup skills. It is art incarnate. It's just, and their talent, they can sing, they can dance, you know, they can do a death drop, they can, they're comedians. I admire them so much. It's RuPaul's Drag Race is where I go in some of my darkest spots.
Really?
Yeah.
To find
just to feel awake and alive for a moment, you know. I mean, and they make me laugh, they make me smile, and they're just, you know, emblems of confidence for me.
Yeah.
You know?
That's awesome to hear. Also, just seeing you on stage, especially this show and after, and seeing the way you presented yourself was some of the most confidence and the most joy that I've ever seen from you.
I know. We've known each other for what, 2 years now?
We've been neighbors for 2 years over there.
And we started working for about a year ago?
About a year ago.
Yeah.
So 3?
Yeah, 2-3 years.
2-3 years.
So, you know, I full disclosure, I am on a new round of antidepressants that I think is helping me. It's the first one out of a bevy I have tried over the years. But also, I don't think you're wrong about Amadeus influencing my temperament and my overall happiness. I'm not going to say I'm happy. That's a hard word for me to define and accept. But I did think about this because even my doctor yesterday commented that, now she saw me 3-4 years ago because I'm bad about going to the doctor. But she even said, I haven't seen you like this in a long time. When I last saw you, you were very upset about your body, your mind, and your voice. Because I couldn't stop talking about Amadeus yesterday when I saw her. And she said, I'm so genuinely happy to see it. And I think it's because of Amadeus and the people I was with for 2 months. And you have to understand, opera's very different. Our rehearsal schedule is much less demanding because the singing is so intense.
You can't sing like that all the time.
We simply cannot rehearse the amount we do for an AEA play.
When I went to go see Michelle perform the first time in San Francisco, what was the play again? Or the
La Sonambula. It means the sleepwalker.
The sleepwalker.
Just think of somnambulist.
She was sleepwalking and singing at the same time. It was very impressive. But I saw all the veins when you were singing, and I was like, and you sang for like 10 minutes straight sometimes.
It was, yeah.
And I was just like, and we were training together at the time. And I was like, of course she needs a workout. I'm tired listening to her sing.
You're discovering something that a lot of people realize. Opera singers and singers, especially Broadway singers too, we are athletes. The strength and tenacity it requires and the cognitive discipline, you have to temper yourself, because if you blow out the roof in the beginning, you're not going to be able to finish the opera 3 hours later and then do it again the day after tomorrow. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And also, to singers listening, when Nate just said veins popping out of my neck does not mean I have a bad technique or that I was over singing. That's just what happens. It's also I have
a very loud too,
yes. I also have a very, very dainty neck, very thin. So you see, but some people think that veins mean you're singing improperly.
Oh, really?
That's not always true.
Okay.
But it's a lot, and what you're describing, actually, I think the end. It's called a mad scene, because she'd gone mad at the time. It's a lot of work. And because I'm a coloratura soprano, my rep involves multiple sections: a recit, the aria, and the cabaletta. That's the opening part, which is kind of recitative. Basically means it's like dialogue kind of singing. And then the aria is the air quote song proper. And then the cabaletta is usually the air quote fast part with lots of coloratura and runs, which is the fast parts. So anyway, the point is, my repertoire, because I sing that kind of music, most of my arias are 10 minutes long, which is always hard when auditions announce you must have a 5 to 7 minute aria. I'm like, most of my music isn't 5 to 7 minutes, but that's okay.
Yeah, because you used to, before I saw you perform, you'd always talk about how tired you were from practicing and singing. And I was like, how hard can it be? And then I was like, this is way actually harder than I even thought.
A lot harder. But admittedly, too, because I'm such a perfectionist, I can overdo it sometimes, just trying to, be perfect for me and the wall when I practice, which I really have to work on. But yeah, admittedly, it is physical, deeply physical work.
Did you see the viral clip of Timothy Chalamet talking about opera?
I did see that.
You did see it.
I did.
If you guys haven't seen it, I'll put it up. We could clip this up maybe. He talks about how a lot of people don't necessarily care about opera anymore in terms of attention-wise, and in terms of where attention in modern day society is going. I guess, what's your argument to, like, why should people go to live theater? Why should people go to an opera? Why should people go see plays in this day and age?
Well, first of all, I'm of several minds. Number one,
especially being part of the...
Yes. What he said didn't offend me, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm happy to talk about it. It didn't offend me because...
That's interesting because you are actually part of this ecosystem.
I am. But the ecosystem is hemorrhaging money. Opera companies are shuttering, closing their doors because there is no money. They continue to hire locally more and more because they tragically don't have the budget to hire out of town. They have to.
Is that simply because of the lack in popularity?
No, that's because they can't afford to pay for housing and travel expenses. If you hire a singer from out of town, you have to pay to put them up.
But in terms of the income coming in from these shows, it's due to the popularity of the show, correct?
Yes and no. It depends, and I might not be well educated enough to answer because I don't run an opera house.
Okay.
But I do know the last operas I've done have all been sold out. But also, you have to remember,
there's not a lot of them either.
Well, not just that. Look at the economy and the tariffs and everything. It costs a lot of money to put these productions on. It's not just salary. It's the sets. It's the makeup. It's the costumes.
The set of Amadeus was sick. It was so beautiful.
That was designed by Alexander Dodge, I believe his last name is. Alexander, forgive me if I'm butchering your last name. A brilliant Tony nominated set designer. He built it based on the illusion of forced perspective, which is a very old school trick. And one of the most prolific users of that trick are the Disney theme parks, to give you the illusion that something is bigger than it actually is.
It looks huge.
And part of it was, that's why the set was slanted like V-shaped like this, and that's why the doors are so small in the middle but didn't look like it. But that's also why the gag of the emperor walking through it was so funny, because he's 6'7".
Oh, he was tall.
Yeah.
What made him look taller?
Exactly. But forced perspective is why it works so beautifully.
Yeah.
It's just stunning. But back to the Chalamet comments, I don't disagree with what he said. I think he phrased it rather dismissively and crassly, but he's not entirely wrong. However, it is an art form that I deeply love, that is my career, that I would encourage everyone who is interested in it to attend. I also acknowledge that Chalamet, he's not my target audience. Clearly, if he spoke of it with that much derision, he doesn't enjoy going to the opera. That's fine. Me, I don't enjoy NASCAR. I don't really enjoy Pokemon. I don't like anime. I think golf is kind of boring.
Yeah.
But I do love watching airplanes.
You love football.
I love football. San Francisco, I am still mad at you, but you just made some great trades this week, so I'm optimistic for 26-27. So let's go get that 6 trophy. Okay, so anyway,
I guess, how do people get interested in it then? Because I know you're into football because of the history
and
of...
well, it's also in utero. My family. It's part of our life.
Yeah, and you also understand the rules, and you could appreciate it more, and it's been a part of your upbringing and your childhood.
So I would start then. What I would say is, I would first ask, what kind of music do you like? Because opera, I don't know if you know this, but music is divided into eras. You know, you have the Renaissance, the Baroque, the classical, the Romantic, and modern. And we haven't really updated it since.
Yeah.
Mozart was in the classical period. So I would say to someone, okay, when you go to a movie, do you enjoy a John Williams film score? Do you enjoy a Jerry Goldsmith film score? Do you? Let me ask you. Do you like a John Williams film score? You know,
I don't know about John Williams film scores.
You don't know who John Williams is?
I do not.
What?
I don't.
He composed what? What? Star Wars? Star Wars, Jaws, Indiana Jones, Jurassic Park, Harry
I know those
Potter.
movies.
He composed all those movies. Okay, but so do you like the music from those movies? Okay, so then I would say, and let me ask you this then. All right. So I would probably start you then off with something more in the Romantic era, which was in the late 1800s.
So you're basically asking about these modern compositions from like these movies, and if you like them, here's something similar to it from this era.
Yes, it's more romantic, it's more sweeping, a lot more violins. It's not so formulaic. You're dealing with more. The composer started to play more with meter at this time. I think also too, one of our great composers, Eric Korngold, he went on to compose for the early Hollywood films, the 1930s. So that's what I would then say. You would like that. You could even hear, if you like Gershwin, you could hear kind of Gershwin and some of Puccini and Gianni Schicchi a little bit too. It starts to swing a little bit more. So, and then I would say, okay, do you listen to classical music at all? No. Okay, well then, all right, let's talk about story. What kind of stories do you find interesting? Do you like a fairy tale? Do you like a love story? Do you want a good villain? Do you like religious allegory? Do you like Shakespeare? Do you want to see a bride murder her husband on her wedding night? What about length? Do you want something shorter? You know? So that's what I would then move into. And there are plenty of operas that could fulfill
those
characteristics and those needs. Like, I did a production of The Magic Flute by Mozart, which was done in English and set in the world of Nintendo. You know, the main character was Link from Zelda.
Wait, you were part of this?
I was the Queen of the Night, and I didn't play Zelda. I was a female Ganondorf, but another lead character was Mario, and his love interest was Princess Peach.
Yeah.
So, I would say, to first-timers, I would recommend The Magic Flute because that's a fairy tale. If they want something romantic, I would say La Bohème by Puccini. That's from the Romantic era. If they want something more bel canto with blood, I would say Lucia. She is the bride I mentioned a few moments ago who murders her husband. If you're worried about length, do not start with Wagner. You'll be there for 4 hours, and you'll be screamed at.
Why do you think some even movies in general or some operas are so long? Because like there's an attention span.
We'll see. Well, modern tastes have changed.
You
have to remember back then they didn't have Netflix and chill. They didn't have Instagram or TikTok, which is ruining our attention spans. It's very tragic that.
So you could stay and be focused for 4 hours on this opera.
Yes,
and be
because they didn't
fine.
need to go home and check and see what the DVR had recorded while they were out at the theater.
They didn't have email. They didn't have text message
that was their entertainment. And you also have to remember too, when Mozart was composing, nobody thought that these would go down in posterity and be performed hundreds of years later. Mozart, of course, these works were his life and his art form, but homeboy had a spending problem, was deeply in debt, and he just needed to get paid most of the time. So it was their entertainment. That's what they did. They saw vaudevilles, they saw operas, you know, music was a big part of the church, you know, too. So I think, you know, tastes changed, palettes changed, you know, the advent of World War I changed a lot of things, you know, possibly. That's purely hypothesizing on my part. Again, I'm not an expert, or I don't have a degree in this. I have a degree in the performing, but not the history of it.
I was to say we're fellow Bruins.
Yes, we are. Bruin forever.
How was going to school at UCLA for I guess performing?
Oh, amazing.
What's the benefit of it? And like, because to me, sometimes when I look at people who go to school for entertainment, I'm just like, is there a huge benefit to it?
There can be, especially if you want to enter into a young artist program. I was on a different track. I'm not going to say why to protect my hiring in the future, but I was on a different track, and the young artist programs just really weren't in the cards for me.
Okay.
I mainly went because I had stopped singing for quite some time. And I sung for someone, and he said, yeah, you have a viable instrument. You really should go for this. And so I used it more to get my body and voice back into shape.
The quote, delicious voice from, I forgot which quote was it that described your voice.
Someone called me delicious?
Delicious voice. Yeah, it was on your website.
Oh.
Delicious voice or something like that. But go ahead.
Probably I forget who said it then. What about it?
Oh, you're talking about your professor who said you had a viable instrument?
Yes. So he said, yeah, it's viable and delicious. And so I went back to school to get it into shape, and I got lots of performance practice on my feet, got my feet wet with some roles, working with an orchestra more and more. And I met a composer there who I have collaborated with since many times, who is now one of my dearest friends and mentors. So that's one of the greatest gifts I got out of that experience.
What does singing do for you on a personal level?
I don't know. Because because I want to actually go back to the Chalamet things. Don't dismiss me.
Yeah.
I said I was not happy with what he said.
Yeah.
You coming from my gig,
Yeah.
I mean, I pour my heart and soul into this, but you're also kind of right.
Sure.
But it is my work, and I love it so much. And my voice, mio tesoro, it's my treasure, But, and the reason why I said I don't know, it's very hard to live with because I have to be so careful. I have anxiety. I also have acid reflux. She runs my life. I had to, because Amadeus, we had 8 shows a week, 6 days a week. And because I have acid reflux, because of the acid reflux, I couldn't have my Coke Zero for 6 days out of the week.
You love your Coke Zero.
And I also, because I was afraid of any kind of herb or spice, I had just egg whites and oatmeal those 6 days. And my one day off, I would have something with flavor. Also, always on Sunday nights when I would get home, because we had Mondays off, I would get home at 11. I would drink 3 Coke Zeros right there.
3 Coke Zeros?
Oh, right in a row. I said,
is there caffeine in those?
No, I have the caffeine-free version because acid reflux, But, and then I would have 3 the next day. So 6 sodas in about 36 hours is not good.
You were just fiending for soda after 5 days, 6 days.
It's in the name. It's my cocaine, So but anyway, the point is it runs my life. I have to, taper the talking. I couldn't have done this with you during the run. I would have had to decline because it's too much talking. And some people, and I couldn't go out afterwards with my colleagues. We had a bevy of adult beverages backstage for afterwards each night. I couldn't indulge because I had to sing the next day, and alcohol is bad for the voice. So I have to deny myself little pleasures in life. And that is a sacrifice. My parents were in town. I said, I love you guys, but you can't stay here with me. And they normally do. So I put them up at the Marriott in Pasadena. And when they saw me at 2:00 on Sunday for the 2:00 show, hug, kiss.
Goodbye.
Can't talk. Bye. Got to go eat and take a quick nap.
Yeah.
That's the sacrifice. Also, the traveling. I don't get to see my dog as much. But getting back to the voice,
Wilbur was in the dressing room.
Yes, he was. He got to come
Wilbur's
many
here now,
days.
too.
He was the dog mascot of the Pasadena Playhouse. But I answered, I don't know, because, oh my God, in certain moments, when it all clicks and I can hit those notes and I can be that character, there's nothing like it in the world. But at the same time, because unlike instrumentalists, my voice is inside of my body. I'm at the mercy of how I feel that day, which is different for all of us every day. If I inhaled a bit too much dust or dander, I might be congested the next day. If I talked a bit too much, I might be a little hoarse the next day. If I didn't sleep on my wedge pillow, food might have come up the esophagus. I might have heartburn that night when I wake up, or I might catch a little cold. Or
you have so much going through your brain.
It's exhausting.
I never think about any of these things.
I have to.
Yeah.
As a singer, although I have been reminded recently, I can afford to step back a little bit because everything I've just enumerated to you is too much. I concede to obsessing a bit over it. I'm seeking.
Yeah.
I'm like.
Well, I think, I'm just trying to empathize with you the best of my ability. It's like, if I thought about all those characteristics during my day, my brain would hurt. I would be so anxious.
And no wonder my voice gets tired. I admit it's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy. I do it to myself. I mean, it is the struggle, to quote pop culture, the struggle is real because and I'm, another analogy, like the Borg in Star Trek, I'm constantly seeking perfection.
I don't think that's a bad thing.
Well, it is actually, because the definition of art, especially when it's performed by a live, breathing human who is not AI, who is not a doll, it literally cannot be perfect. It's physically impossible.
Impossible.
I can't sing the same way every day. It's not possible. And I analyze too much in the moment. And I'll tell you something else. We performed Amadeus 38 times.
In how many days?
From February 11th to March 15th.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And do you want to know how many of those performances I was happy with?
Can I guess?
Yes.
6.
0.
0?
There was one that came kind of close. 1. But the answer is 0.
Okay.
I failed, and I actually feel, and I want to say this very plainly. I'm not fishing for compliments when I say this. I'm not seeking consolation or superlative saying, no, you're talented. No. But I think I failed. I think I failed my cast members. I think I failed my director. I think, above all, I failed my voice and myself.
Objectively, though, you see the crowd.
Yes.
You see your parents super happy.
Yes.
You see your friends who come to your show and they're
supportive and amazing.
And I mean, for me too, like, I didn't see anything wrong with it at all. And so, like, objectively, it was a success.
Yeah.
And so, like, why wouldn't you pay attention to that more so?
We've talked about this too when we trained. I seem to be kind of a conundrum to you because I know things, but I put myself through the...
It kind of makes me mad.
It does me... Yeah, guys, he actually gets... Well, Nate actually doesn't get mad, but I can tell when he's frustrated with me because I seek these things and I'm so needlessly hard on myself.
Well, we could do an example. Let's do a fitness example that you could relate to singing, maybe.
All right.
Or to this show. Michelle will give me a body type that she wants to have. And she knows the social destruction of it, or the social outlook on it, and how a lot of people would see it, and that most people would not want it. But this is her vision of, like...
You can say what it is.
A ballerina body.
Yeah.
But not like a modern ballerina body. Like, you could explain it better.
I was seeking an aesthetic, slightly underweight. I wanted to look slightly unhealthy, and trigger warning to anybody who needs it. It sounds like we're segueing into eating disorder and body dysmorphia here, which I wanted to talk about.
But that sounds crazy.
I know it's wrong.
There you go.
I know it's wrong.
And you know it's wrong. And so, like, when Michelle's talking about this, and usually if I have a client who tells me this, right, they never say, I know it's wrong. So then we could talk about, and they're like, oh, and they understand it. I can't give a rebuttal to you in the sense of, like...
How?
When you say, yeah, I want this, but I know it's wrong. Yeah. You know?
There's no way to talk to me about it. You can't.
Yeah. It's a cigarette smoker who's like, yeah, I just like cigarettes, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I know it's bad for me, but I'm going to continue to smoke cigarettes.
But this is the cruelty of anorexia and bulimia. They're not physical disorders. They are mental disorders.
But you're smart enough to know that.
That's why it's cruel. Yeah. I know exactly what's happening. It's the stupidest thing in the world.
It makes no sense because you're explaining it to me right now.
It makes no sense. And so, like with the singing and with the body, there's no wonder I tire out both the voice and the body with these thoughts. Because and we've talked about this too, I'm a firm believer mentally, it all can manifest here in exhaustion.
But I've also never met someone if we use the fitness example, if most people who have bulimia or anorexia or any eating disorder, they don't know how to count calories. And Michelle's over here telling me the exact macro she's eating, like to a T, and I'm like, I have never met anyone like this.
It's
I was
all
like,
here.
because sometimes I'll like, have you tried counting your calories, Michelle? I can't even say that to Michelle.
No,
you know?
I know exactly. My breakfast had 385 calories, 230. No. It was 120 calories in the egg whites, 20 calories in the Canadian bacon, 30 in the cheese, 100 in the English muffin, and 70 in the egg, and 35 in the tablespoon of butter. Which
I don't know any person with the eating disorder who could do that.
Oh, we can. This is one of our talents.
Oh, we? You think other people?
We have to know what's going on. See, this is also part of it, and also why eating at restaurants is hard for me.
Yeah. I'm so happy that we added natural foods, though.
Yeah. So, we'll tell your listeners, I was struggling with my weight, which is why I went to Nate. I was struggling because my calories hadn't changed. In fact, they were still a bit low for my height, about 12 to 1300. But I felt like a human marshmallow. I was doughy and puffy. Like if we were watching Ghostbusters, I would be Mr. Stay Puffed.
Yeah, it's like the skinny fat that most people talk about. It was a skinny fat,
and I could just see that my abs were kind of distended, and my jeans, even though they were still the size I prefer.
And you guys wouldn't know, Michelle used to be a lot heavier.
Yes,
a few decades ago.
I've seen every size from a 0 to a 16, and I've been hospitalized for anorexia when I was a teenager, bulimia through laxatives, never with vomiting because I'm emetophobic.
I don't know what that is.
Fear of vomiting. It scares me. I don't like it. You know that moment before we all throw up when you have the nausea the whole time. Then it's coming. Yeah. Oh, it's terrifying. I can't stand it. Makes me just cry.
But you can control your vomiting.
I can't. I can. And also too, it's bad for your esophagus, your throat. I'm a singer. So yes, I abuse laxatives, and I would say I have now what you would call a new term coming into into psychology is orthorexia, which is an obsession with health. But so anyway, the whole point was, I came to Nate like, what is happening? I'm measuring everything down to, I'm losing. And I was very frustrated. I was losing my mind already because
you were very frustrated.
I was very frustrated because it's something I already obsessed over. It's like, mathematically, this doesn't make sense. So finally, we looked at the diet itself, the makeup of the food itself. And I was eating, still my favorite bread, but I haven't eaten it since October. This ketogenic bread, which has 35 calories a slice, so good.
Which is like, if you don't know macronutrients, 35 calories a slice of bread is insane.
And the protein was 6 grams per slice, which is insane. Nuts.
Yeah.
That is nuts. And it was just so good, so satiating. But the problem is, and also all these keto tortillas now, these keto chips, and I was also eating like the sugar-free protein bars and protein drinks. But then
the electrolytes is the one like.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
but actually, as a sidebar, that doesn't bloat me anymore either.
Oh, no.
I have it every day without the scale budging. But anyway.
Is it Element chocolate?
Yes. And I found this delicious.
Hot chocolate, Element hot chocolate.
Yeah. And I add some monk fruit sweetener, a tablespoon of whipped cream, and they have this delicious sugar-free caramel sauce now. It's 0 calories. Oh, but pro tip from everybody to you and me, 0 calories is not really 0 calories. The FDA allows food companies, I forget how many calories, is it 5 calories or less, maybe 10? If it's under a certain number, they are legally allowed
to say 0.
To say it's 0. Yeah. So don't go eating 500 Tic Tacs because you will gain weight. They're not really 0. Anyway, I looked closely and did some research. Okay, so it could be the sugar alcohols or all these modified wheat starches in the breads. And so and you remember I was telling Nate, I would snack on this bread. I would make bread sandwiches with this bread, like put a rice cake and wrap the bread around it and eat it. It was so good. I could finish a loaf in one sitting. And we cut it out. It took about 4 weeks, maybe 5.
Well, the initial spike the weight up and you started freaking out.
Yes.
And
I wanted to kill you.
And you wanted to kill me.
You're lying to me.
And I was just like, it takes a while because like you ate like that for how long?
Oh, God, a good 2-3 years.
Right. And so I was like, your body's probably freaking out right now because with any diet, if you eat the same thing a lot of the time, it gets used to it, right?
Yes.
And so like if you throw material at it that it's never been like accessible to,
it's like, what are you doing
it's freaking
to me?
out. And like you could hold on to water in places. It goes into survival mode type
exactly.
of deal. And then like it realizes like, oh, this is actually making me feel better. And then your bloating went down, right?
So so that was the first step. We started to notice the abs and the belly started to be flatter, but the weight still wasn't going down. And I was like, and that's when I had you adjust the workout a little bit and whatnot. And then it wasn't even just being a human marshmallow. I didn't like the number on the scale. And I'm going to take a different side than what all these Instagram positivity posts. You are not the number of the scale. Okay, fine, if you want to say that. But the number means something to me. And I have a certain threshold that is comfortable.
What is the number? Why does the number mean something to you?
Because it's at a point where my clothes fit better. And admittedly, it was a time in my life when I felt beautiful. I'm not going to say what that number is because that could be triggering. I don't want to do that. And I'm not going to say my current weight either. But anyway, so I was getting frustrated and I filmed a video and I didn't like how buff I was looking in my arms. Like
Nate, stop in the arms.
Nate, you're getting me guns and I don't want guns. I want toothpicks, So, but we kept at it. And then, but it was finally starting to creep down, like about 3 pounds or so. It took about 3 or 4 months, actually. And then, Christmas happened and I ate so much, as we do.
And you didn't feel guilty about it, though?
I didn't, because we were also, I'll be candid with everybody else. And I don't mind saying this because I'm not ashamed of this. This is part of me and what I went through. I have a binge eating disorder as well, but I don't purge anymore. With laxatives. I purge with exercise, which is also not good. Do not binge. And I binge and then I go out and I walk 10 to 15 miles. I don't recommend that because exercise should not be used as punishment. It should be a celebration of what your body can do. I'm still not ready to do that. I still prefer punishing it. We have a sadomasochistic relationship.
Again,
I know.
Again, you know this.
I know. I'm a conundrum. I like to make people remember me in bad ways. But anyway, so after Christmas, but I worked on it. We talked about this. I went into Christmas with a plan, because what kills you with weight gain as a holidays is when Christmas Eve turns to Christmas Day, then December 26th leftovers, then 27th, and then, you've gained 15 pounds by spring. We don't want that. So we went in with the plan and I stuck to it, even though I didn't exercise as much. But when I got home a week later, finally, we had the whoosh and the weight started dropping. And then because of Amadeus and this insane actors' equity schedule of rehearsing 10 hours a day, I finally am down to my high school weight. And I'm just so thrilled.
How does it feel to, I guess, go on that roller coaster of everything? So even the performing for Amadeus and the success that you've seen in fitness and your body, as well as just how you feel.
It was extraordinary seeing how resilient the human body is. Yes, it clings on to what it wants, hence survival mode and water retention. Still too afraid to try creatine. I will eventually. But what my body is capable of. I was so tired and moments.
I also think creatine will help the sleep.
But yeah, no, I want it for cognitive function. But we talked about this. There is initial because the water fills the muscles, right?
Yeah, it's if you drink enough water, it should be fine. As well as if you have enough electrolytes, you should be fine.
Yeah,
But similar to the new diet and stuff, it takes your body a tiny bit of adjustment time.
That's what my brain is not good at handling. But but it's also very hard because I'm constantly analyzing my face, my body, and my voice. And all three of them, I'm constantly saying, you're not pretty enough, face. You're not good enough, voice. You're not fit or skinny enough, body.
I feel like a lot of people think that, though.
Yes, I know I'm not alone. That's why I'm saying it out loud.
Yeah.
And I also want to say something else. These results came about me sitting around, eating whatever I wanted, and I'm maintaining them. Now that I've lost the weight and reached the state I wanted, I'm going to go back to eating whatever I want. Absolutely not. This is a lifestyle choice and commitment. This is not easy.
It's an infinite game.
I can't eat whatever I want all the time if I want this. And I like wearing these clothes. I like feeling and looking this way. It's hard work. And there is a trade-off. And that's why, again, the key is you have to be happy in whatever form you think suits you best. I just want to make it clear to your listeners that I'm not resting on my laurels, that I have to say no to great many pleasures. I just bought 6 boxes of Girl Scout cookies.
Oh.
They're in my freezer.
Okay.
The old me would have
downed them. Box a day.
But those 6 boxes, and I can't believe I'm saying this, they're going to last me the rest of the calendar year.
Are you a Thin Mint girly? Which one are you?
I'm Thin Mints.
Okay.
Samoa's
the coconut one?
Yes, the coconut caramel. And the trefoils. That's the shortbread.
Oh, I don't think I've had
Yeah, my grandmother brought me up on shortbread. Although I got, I like to make a joke. One of the my co-stars in Amadeus, I bought them for his daughter's troupe. And I bought her 13 boxes because I got some from my parents
so
too.
Kind of you.
I like to say I put his daughter through college. But my mom called me. So I gave them to, they came on Sunday. They went home Monday. We had breakfast Monday and I gave them their cookies. And she texted me and said, Daddy already ate a whole box of tagalongs. Those are the peanut butter patties.
No. Oh, I don't love those.
I'm not a peanut butter girly per se. I can live without peanut butter and caramel, except what's in a Samoa. But actually, pro tip, keep the Thin Mints in the freezer. Oh, my God.
They're so good.
Oh, so
Crush
good.
them up over ice cream.
Oh, so good. Although I did get a new product yesterday. I'm going to try tonight.
What did you get?
They have sugar-free Oreos now.
The Girl Scouts?
No, actual Oreos from Nabisco. There's no protein in them. So it's not a health food. But why I like them is they're portion controlled. They're a bag and each is a pack of 2 for 90 calories. Also, can we talk about, this protein trend is out of control. I saw a commercial yesterday for Pop-Tarts with 11 grams of protein.
But
I don't think that's per Pop-Tart. I think that's per package because they come 2 per pack.
Yeah.
And I also want to say, people, a Pop-Tart is still bad for you, even if you have 11 grams of protein.
And it's still high calorie. I looked at them.
It's 200 calories for one.
Yeah.
The pack of 2 is 400.
Yeah.
And see, that's also what I practice with. If I could impose anything on your listeners, it would be volume eating, volume eating, volume eating.
Yeah.
It's doctoring up salads, pastas, a whole bag of carrots. You bake into French fries. Like a delicious new thing I've hooked myself on is a whole bag of spinach, a whole bag of broccoli, which I air fry with basil, rosemary, some salt, and parsley. Toss in some chicken, maybe a little balsamic vinegar, but that's it. It's like my green goddess veggie bowl. Delicious. And you're so full.
Yeah, the marketing of protein is kind of insane.
It's like you don't need protein in
your Pop-Tart.
And also, too, the trick for protein is to see if it's a good source is, let's say, okay, so the Pop-Tarts it's 200 calories for one.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to say they're lying that it's not really. We'll round it up to 12. I'm going to say it's 6 for one individual Pop-Tart. You add a 0. So when you add a 0, if that number is greater than the total calories, it's a good source of protein. So 200 calories versus 6 with the 0, 6.
4 to 1. About
that is terrible.
Yeah.
Versus like, let's say.
That's a good trick.
It's a good trick. Like, what's a good one? Okay. One of my protein shakes has 30 grams of protein, 160 calories, 300 to 160. Excellent source of protein. So that's my trick from me to you. Take it, enjoy it.
So how's the body felt just strictly or more whole foods in your diet?
Incredible. It's nice.
Can you explain any energy feelings or just how you feel in your body?
Well, it didn't occur to me until you just said that. I haven't had the energy. I did go to the gym a few times a week, but I mostly, when you sing, and opera singers will tell you this too, show day, it's mostly just laying in bed like a beached whale, conserving energy. But that's what I do. Because the lights are hot, the costumes are heavy, whatnot. But I thought I would be in a coma because we close the show on Sunday. Today's Thursday. For Monday to Wednesday at least. No, I'm rising late, but I'm rising easy. Like I met my parents for breakfast at Bob's Big Boy on Monday morning, and my mom said, "Are you sure? Aren't you going to be tired?" I said, "I don't think so. I want to see you guys. I know I'm going to visit you in a couple of weeks, but I want to see you." And
also, so crazy. Her parents are from Fresno. I'm from Fresno.
I know, which
Small
means
world.
You're stuck with me.
Stuck with you.
And you're only moving 4 hours away.
Yeah. Do you like Fresno, right?
It's grown on me tremendously.
Okay.
Its reputation is undeserved.
Everyone, Woodward Park.
Oh my God. It looks hideous, as does all of the Central Valley.
I don't think it does.
No, in the summer. In the summer?
It's just hot. It still looks pretty.
But Fresno, especially Clovis, where my parents live, it's beautiful. And Woodward Park.
Your parents live in the Fort Washington area,
They do.
Right? Yeah.
Woodward Park, especially, it's what it is. It's like Griffith without the mountains. It's this, I don't know how long is the cemented walking path? Do you know? How many miles is that? It's got to be at least 8, maybe.
See if chat knows.
Yeah. But especially at Christmas time in the winter when I was there, Woodward Park, it looks like the moors of the Scottish Highlands. It's, my brother-in-law told me about this. On Christmas, you get this kind of haze, this fog that moves in, It's actually beautiful. It's stunning, but it's my favorite place to walk. Can't wait to go back. Does it say?
2.8 miles.
No, it's more than that. It's got to be more than that. I clock at least.
8.9 miles.
Okay, that tracks.
Yeah.
And my parents, I walk to there from my house, so it's a good, 12 to 15 miles round trip. But yeah, so anyway,
it just gets hot.
Yeah, it just gets hot.
It gets like 110 degrees some days.
That's brutal. And like in Fresno, they had to put up.
Why did they choose Fresno? That's recent. Where were they before?
My sister married a man who was from Fresno.
Okay,
and that's where she moved. And now my parents are only about 5 minutes from my sister, her husband, and my beautiful niece Riley. But anyway, the point being, my mom said, "You don't have to meet us for breakfast." And I said, "Okay, I do want to see you." And I was tired, sure, but I came home. I didn't even, and I went to breakfast, ran some errands, came home. Yesterday, I still rose around 9, went to the doctor, didn't even eat until 2:30, went and got my nails changed back to Lincoln Park after
I love
dark.
the fit, by the way. Like the matching ring and the dress.
This is my aesthetic.
Yeah.
I learned this from the Golden Girls. If you watch the Golden Girls, I watched reruns, was how I was introduced to them. Their jewelry, their earrings in particular, match every outfit they wore color-wise.
How many earrings do you got?
Oh, I've lost count. I have no clue. I don't know.
Okay.
Don't ask me about how many shoes I have either. I don't know.
Too.
I don't know.
What does
or books? I have too many books, shoes, and earrings.
Okay. How do you navigate fashion?
Like, what do you mean navigate? If I see it, I buy it. If I like it and see it and buy it, I buy it.
How would you describe, like, in terms of, like, the play, right? Or in terms of
Amadeus?
any play, right? You said you get to turn into this character and you get to play the role. And you love the dress even though it's 25, 30 pounds and it's weighing you down. I guess when there was I forgot, you were in the lobby one day and you were going out for a night on a Friday or a date maybe or something like that. It was,
yes. At where we used to live.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you were wearing like a yellow dress.
Yeah.
Do you know which one I'm talking about?
I
don't know how many dresses that you had there yellow.
think it might. Did it have flowers on it?
It did.
Yes, I know the one you're talking about.
Okay.
So, yeah, it was white with yellow, actually.
Yeah, and it's a very bold piece. And this is a very bold piece of dress as well. And I guess, like, how do you use fashion and style to, I guess, express yourself? Because I haven't seen anything like it, really.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I like to stand out if I can, not to seek attention, but because I have an aesthetic and it's called ever so slightly over the top. I'm just a little bit too much. The hair, the makeup, the nails, the jewelry.
Everything.
It's just a little bit too much. But I like a little bit of everything. I like bold color. I like
It's very drag queen. I see it.
It is. It is. I'm influenced by drag culture, by the dresses you saw in Amadeus. But I also I like being grungy. I like being gothy. I like being casual. I like being elegant. I like being flowy. I like jeans, but it has to match. It always has to match. If the shoes can't match the outfit, I got to buy a pair of shoes that does, unfortunately.
So you're like anti-minimalist.
With my clothing, yes. Yeah. And I actually, when I go out looking like a paper bag, I actually feel like I failed society.
So you enjoy it?
I do. I do. I don't believe in astrology, but Tauruses, which is what I am, we allegedly like material things. And my material gods or goddesses are books, shoes, and earrings.
What type of books do you read?
Everything. History, science. I don't read a lot of fiction, except read a lot of Jane Austen, the Brontes. I read a lot of plays. I just finished Mozart's biography by Maynard Solomon.
Okay.
It was a massive tome. I always like to have at least concurrently, I have to have nonfiction and fiction running at the same time. What did I want to read now? I want to read some nutrition books. I have a wonderful book about food and dress during the Age of Enlightenment, which is when Amadeus was set, that I want to read. I reread Jane Austen a lot. She's my favorite author. But I'd say, history, astronomy. I love reading about astronomy because we have all this chaos here on Earth, in the United States, in California.
In your personal life.
In my personal life.
In your
space, and this is odd, but it comforts me to know that an asteroid can knock us out at any time. And I mean that because there are bigger, grander, more miraculous things out there than worrying about paying my taxes or, worrying if I'm going to make this deadline or doing that next load of laundry. There are wondrous things to behold. Now, don't mistake me. It is a very tumultuous time in our history. It's very deeply unpleasant and horrifically frightening and very depressing. But that's also why I look to my books and astronomy, because it's just a reminder to think outside myself. Same with certain films. I'm a hardcore cinephile. So
it's so funny that you say that because when our conversations, you worry about a lot of the small things. You talk about the small things.
I am an enigma.
Like
I am a conundrum.
You know the answers to the question, so therefore you can't really argue with it at all because you have
and you can't help me either. You can't give it as my friend. You can't give me advice.
No.
How can you advise someone if she already knows the answer?
Yeah.
The answer is she has to figure it out for herself.
But you're okay with it. It sounds like you're okay with it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. And then going back to your energy, I am changing a little bit.
Yeah.
I think you sense it too.
Oh, for
sure.
sure.
I've reached a certain place.
Well, I remember, I think it was 3 weeks straight when we were training, that there comes a point, I'm going to be totally transparent with you.
We're buds now.
We're buds. Where if I personally have, because like as a trainer, I give a lot of energy.
You do.
And
your heart and soul.
It's basically just like I love helping people, right? Physically as well as mentally, emotionally, everything like that. And if I have multiple weeks of, I don't see any progress, right, in this person, and it's draining and pulling energy from me, and they're not progressing that the way they want to, I'm like, I don't know if I'm the best coach for you. I don't know if I'm the best,
I'm worried, that I worried you were going to be thinking that.
And so like, I think 3 weeks straight, and I was like, you had tough weeks.
Yeah.
Tough weeks. And to get you through even the workouts, and you're like, why am I not remembering this move? Or like, how am I not getting this yet? And then you would talk about like something that's not going well. And I'm trying my best in my power to like navigate and help you, right?
Yeah.
And so seeing that for so many weeks, I'm just like, I don't know if I could do this anymore.
Yeah.
And I've had to let go of like 2 or 3 clients in that way. And so like to see the like progression as well, like I think it was the first time
when the form started changing.
No, it was the form, but like everything started changing. So like you remembered the form, you started feeling confident, the nutrition was getting better, you hit mini virality on social media.
Yes.
And then you went
click.
All the clicks were happening.
The clicks were happening, and then the tummy started getting flatter.
And I was like, okay,
I finally figured out how to operate a kettlebell. Yeah, guys, I don't know what it was.
She just like afraid of kettlebells.
I don't like kettlebells. It for some reason it defied logic. But we also discovered things I was good at. I'm very good at balancing. Apparently, I'm very good at balancing. And floor work I'm quite good at.
You're good at hinging.
I'm good at hinging. It's just discovering these things, these habits. And what you and I also discovered, my body craves and needs, like most humans, routines, because you and I were meeting sporadically. It wasn't until, I think, when I finally went to you with
I think it was 6 or 7 weeks straight.
Yeah, but when I said, we gotta go without any breaks in between. And that's when, surprise, surprise, change happened, and I just had to, which is hard for me, trust the process.
Yeah.
But let me just say, I deeply apologize if I ever made you doubt yourself.
No,
because
it wasn't that.
Your heart and soul is right here on your sleeve, and it radiates off you and off your very kind face. And I know this. Ask my mom. I can be very difficult. I can be a pain in the butt. There's a Cole Porter song called Easy to Love. If Cole was alive, he would write a song called You're Not Easy to Love. And this is about Michelle Allie Drever. But yeah, so it's been quite a journey. And I really hope.
Why do you sound proud of that?
Proud of what? Being hard to love?
Yeah.
Am I that transparent? I'm not proud of it.
You sound like it.
Well, let me put it. I'm not hard to love because I'm mean or vicious.
Well, it sounds proud too. It's like the body type that you want, and you're proud of it even though it doesn't make sense.
Because okay, here's another Instagram phrase. I stuck to who I was. I didn't compromise the core of myself. I found and got the body type I wanted. Although I need to get back to the strength training. I haven't done it in 3 months. I haven't had time. That actually is true, Nate. That I used to think it's actually true. To not have time to work out. It's actually true.
I don't think so.
It is true.
We're not agreeing on this.
Okay. All right. We'll debate that another time over drinks, hopefully. But pride, I don't know if I would call it proud. It's just, all right, how about this? I did it. I did 2 things I didn't think I would be able to do. I got my body back, and I finished Amadeus somehow. And my expectations for both were we exceeded the weight goal. The number on the scale is lower than I thought. And Amadeus, even if it leads to nothing, was more life-changing than I could have ever imagined.
Also objectively, in terms of the sales and the the attention that it got.
Also, mostly just because of the people I worked with.
Sounds like you've loved these people because, like, I remember old shows you used to talk about. You're like, this cast was not it, brother. I did not like working with some of these people.
We'll not mention which ones I meant, which ones I told him.
For sure.
But I've been actually lucky. Most, like 99.999% of the time, I have been blessed.
It's all about the people.
Yeah, I'm not a religious person, but I have been blessed to work with the most insanely talented and kind people in the performing arts. But Amadeus, these were Tony Award winners and nominees. Not a trace of ego. Only heaps of kindness, humility, joyfulness.
What did you learn from being around them?
To relax and savor. To be grateful that even though Amadeus ended, not all journeys end. That some endings are beginnings. And some in the cast made me feel more visible and seen and special than I have any right to deserve. And it was quite humbling to be told that. And
you know how you just said I'm hard to love?
Yes.
I love this quote. It's to love is to be seen.
Yes. Yes.
And so you felt love there and you were loved.
Yeah. And because I felt it because they paid attention to things I mentioned and they remembered the details of what made me me.
And I remember not naming names or anything like that. We talk about dates and stuff. And you're like, how did these people not remember or like pay attention to the things that we've talked about? We had conversations about it. And you're like,
was it me?
Yeah.
How can I didn't impact this person the way they impacted me.
You're really good at it. You're good at remembering details about conversations and everything like that. And so to experience that, not only
it's very painful.
To experience that in this setting, I think it is so beautiful.
Yeah.
To be able to
that's why,
in a professional setting too.
That's why I just, whether or not I see this person ever again or work with them ever again, I will carry what they told me in my pocket for the rest of my life. I mean, it was that.
It's a tool in your tool belt.
It was a tool in my tool belt, but it was that gobsmacking. It was that breathtaking to be that seen. Because even for people who I'm not close to, I will remember your details, where you went, who you saw, what you did, what's coming up, because I know how I feel when people remember that. It feels good.
Feels so good.
It feels like a warm, fuzzy blanket because it's not even just love that I seek. It's just that, did you remember me? Even a small faction.
Well, the remembering is caring too.
Yeah, it's like, did you care enough? Because caring doesn't have to be a grand gesture.
Because you could have a conversation with someone, right? And you could just be talking and you can't hear anything.
Yeah.
Some people, like, listening is the biggest skill.
Yeah.
Listening is caring.
Yeah.
Hearing is caring.
Yeah. I still remember, a very kind woman. I never learned her name. I talked to her in Ralph's a couple years ago.
Okay.
And it was in the darker period of my life, eating disorder it was in full force. Career was in the toilet. And I was having trouble controlling my emotions. I'd gotten off a difficult phone call, but I still needed milk. So I had to go inside. And she just stopped and she said, "Honey, are you okay?" And I said, I'll be fine. And we talked for a few minutes. And as I said, I don't remember her. She never told me her name. But I still remember.
You remember the moment?
Because she saw me.
She saw you.
And she saw another human in pain and stopped. So when people who I even talk to with some frequency don't notice the details I notice about them, I go, am I hallucinating this bond, this friendship?
Also, like, maybe that's a sign that you shouldn't be friends.
I think you're right. Yeah. That has merit.
Yeah.
It really does.
Because, like, There's so many people in the world to have a connection with, like romantic or a friendship. I was like, I don't need to be friends with someone who doesn't care.
Yes.
You know?
Go do your thing.
Go do your
you know,
thing.
live and let live. There's no malice.
Yeah.
It's just our energies don't mesh, I suppose, you know?
How do you persist in general, but persist professionally? Because like
I don't know yet.
I know you do know because like
do I?
I think so.
Okay, well,
because you're still doing it.
Well, persist like what? Like with the next gig or being the unknown?
I'll use the example of just like I could use my example and you could relate to it. I haven't made millions of dollars from this podcast yet.
You will.
You know, and I persist through it because of the love I have for conversation with other people, of connecting with other humans. And the reward I've chosen to see from it is the lessons from another human being on this world that I can learn, and the lessons that could be heard or listened to for other people in the audience. You know, even if that's like, I think I got it one day last month, I got 1,000 downloads. And that's hundreds of hours of like listening to, right?
Congrats.
And I was like, oh, you think about that. I'm like, oh, I affected those people's lives. And the small one-offs, like a buddy of mine went to Japan and he went to military dental school there.
Oh, wow.
And this guy came up to him and he was like, yo, have you been on a podcast before? And he was like, yeah, my buddy Nate, my old roommate, just started one. And this was like 3 years ago. He was like, oh, yeah, you're one of the main reasons why I went to military dental school, you know, and like why I'm kind of here. And so like, that was like episode 40, right? Or 50. And to hear my buddy tell me that, I'm like, oh, okay, that's a win. You know, that's the result in itself. And like, if you could add that up, you know, that's why I persist, you know, that's why I continue to play the game, you know? And I guess you persisting in these art forms or just like, let alone the statistics in Hollywood, right? Even actors, they talk about the amount of people in SAG who don't get work at all, right? But they still continue to persist and be here in like the city of angels where it's people are dreamers and they continue to do it. It's a good frequency, but I guess from your standpoint, from where you're at, what's your process in continuing to persist?
I had other aspirations. First of all, that's an amazing story. How beautiful,
so
how
cool, right?
touching, you know, the way people move you. That's still, I'm the same way. Like it's like a few people have messaged me on Instagram about Amadeus. It's also why whenever anybody ever comments on one of my videos I upload, I always comment back because anybody can view it. But in this day and age, when, you know, commenting is like currency, that's a big deal that they took time out of their day to not only watch it, but to type something and not just hit the like button, to say something. So I make it a point to respond to every comment I get. But the process, so because I can't picture myself doing anything else. And yes, of course, like many of my colleagues, I've had to at times consider quitting.
I can't picture myself doing anything. I feel the same way.
You know, I can't. And even in my darkest hours when I want to quit, when there's no money, nothing is coming, you know, because once my next show comes in July, right now I'm out of a job again. That's just the way it works. But I can't picture myself doing anything else. I love performing. I happen to be a performer who was gifted with a soprano's voice. But I love...
For people who don't know what a soprano is, real quick, before you finish that.
It's a voice type.
Yeah.
It's the highest voice type, highest female voice type. It means I sing really, really high.
Really, really high. She does sing really, really high.
I sing really, really, really high. I'm a specialty, though. I sing really, really, really high. But yeah, I can't picture myself...
And baritone's really, really, really low.
A bass is the lowest.
Bass is low.
Basso profundo is, I believe, the lowest. I can't picture myself doing anything else. If opera doesn't work, then I have plays, then I have movies, maybe, then television, maybe. All I know is I think my life is wasted doing anything else. Or writing. I'd love to be an author one day, too. I was meant to do something creative.
Where does that come from? Why do you say that? Where does it?
That's a good question. Nobody in my family reads music besides me. My sister did briefly. But I've always I had an aptitude for the arts.
Like, were you singing sopranos when you were 5 years old?
I was getting up on coffee tables and singing Tomorrow from Annie.
Oh,
very young.
Wow.
And
iconic.
Yeah, my parents could tell that it was better than a child that age should sound at singing. I was doing I did my first show when I was 8, so I've been doing this all my life. It literally is my life. So the process is you keep going, you keep auditioning, hope to God you get to a level where one day the auditions stop and they start coming to you. But even some of the highest people in my highest echelons of this career still have to audition, but it hopefully will stop eventually, but not anytime soon. But I can't picture myself doing anything else, especially when I, read the words of Noel Coward, or I sing the music of Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. Or had I been alive, when I get a script for, well, I wouldn't be in this because I'm a girl, but Dr. Strangelove or something like that.
When you get a script in a different language,
all my work is done in a different language most of the time. 99% of the time.
Mostly Italian?
Yeah. Mostly Italian, German, and French.
So when you get a script in a different language, do you translate it to English at first or at all to, I guess, understand the emotion behind it?
So it's called a vocal score.
Vocal score.
Yes. That is the very first step.
That's the first step.
Because if I don't know what I'm saying, how can I possibly convey it to you, the listener? I have to know what I'm saying. That's the very first thing you have to do. Luckily, because I translate Italian so much, I get the gist of most words, and I just have to write in the little ones. But yes, the first thing I do is highlight the vocal line. Then I go in, I translate, then I go in and I highlight any markings the composer included for me that I have to obey. So I try to interpret it the best as he or she wishes. But absolutely, if you do not translate that score first, unless you're fluent, of course, which I am not, bad form. You have to. It is standard performance practice. I can't do my job. It would be like, Brock Purdy or any member of the Niners going to practice without their helmet. They're going to get a concussion. Well, they're going to get a concussion anyway in that game with the helmet, But you can't. You literally can't. It's like it's that necessary step you have to do until you can do the whole thing. So yes, I translate it. You also, Nate, because you're talking to other singers, you got to translate the other parts too, because you have to know what they're saying. In the same scene. I actually do something that a lot of singers don't do, because especially in Mozart, he repeats phrases. I and a lot of singers don't write their translations after the first time, because why bother? It's repeated. You already wrote it down. I write the English in for the repeats because it further drills the translation into my head.
See, this is when I see you perform, or any performer perform. A lot of people don't see the backstory.
It's hundreds of hours of work,
and even not just the hours of work, the work it takes to get the work. And what I mean by that is, like, you were complaining to me about, I don't know where to practice. Like, I have to rent out space. Like,
to sing, yes. To study, no, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. To sing. Like, you actually have to practice. And,
I do.
Like, if you live in an apartment in
with
New York.
Ridiculous noise restrictions.
With ridiculous noise restrictions. You got to figure it out.
Yeah.
And that's a whole problem, too.
Yeah.
And I was just like, wow, the work. And then the work behind the work. It's a big puzzle.
It never stops. I wake up, the first thing is, how is she doing today?
Yeah.
And the answer is she's still tired from doing 38 weeks. Oh my God, no, 38 shows of Amadeus.
Yeah.
But I
was that the longest, I guess, run that you've done?
No, I've done 4-week runs before, but opera singers, and we touched on this earlier, but I didn't quite finish. We can have 4 weeks of performing, but we only perform like 2 or 3 times a week because the singing is so intense. The score is so massive. But a Broadway schedule, West End in London, they perform 8 times a week. And that's what we did in Pasadena.
Yeah.
We performed 8 times a week. And it was a learning process for this girl. This would never happen in opera. In fact, in regional theater, where I mostly work in opera right now, we have Friday, Sunday, sometimes back-to-back performances, which I don't prefer because I need to rest. It's also because smaller companies can't afford to extend companies that long. But at the biggest houses in the world, the performances are spaced out by even 3 to 4 days. Like you might sing on Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday. Massive breaks built in because it's athletic, as you saw.
Yeah.
As you saw.
It's training.
It's training. But yeah.
For I guess the other little girls currently right now who are singing Tomorrow by Annie on top of the table, I guess if you had to like have any advice or guidance towards it, like what would that be to get to a stage like Amadeus?
Don't do it. No, I'm kidding.
No, it could be don't do it.
Well, I would say,
because a lot of actors who I've talked to in general, a lot of them say if you're not, it's hard.
You have to prepare yourself for sacrifices and amplitudes, bucket loads of disappointment. You will go on 100 auditions. Maybe you'll get 5 actual auditions. Maybe you'll get 5 actual auditions you apply for, and maybe you'll get 1 role out of all those attempts. The odds are stacked against you. The competition is incredibly dense. Even in opera, Timothée Chalamet, believe it or not. Still sold out houses, still voracious fans. I'm still not getting auditions because the competition is intense. Opera is very alive, my friend, but you're not wrong. Okay. Anyway, see, I can be pissed and agree with him at the same time.
I mean, you do it all the you do that.
See,
that
yeah,
is
it's
you.
my,
That
it is
you.
me. That is me.
That is
I
you
have
pissed and
yes,
agree at
I
the
have
same
layers.
time.
I'm a conundrum,
With
as I said.
fitness,
Yes.
with everything.
And I'm also not going to say follow your heart. That's very dangerous, especially in this economy. You have to have a financial plan. I did not. And it's very hard for me.
No.
You know, I'm playing catch up right now. But you have to have a financial plan. You have to be prepared. You have to be ready to lose people, things, money, time. You have to want it. You have to want to accept those losses. And yes, of course, you know, it's in my heart and I'm going to go for it. And I have been. That's what I'm doing. I wouldn't be here if I didn't love it. Why? Of course I do, you know? But I think saying follow your heart is just far too simple. I think you have to accept the realities of it, but absolutely go to school for it. I don't necessarily think grad school is necessary. I think take singing lessons, get coachings, learn Italian, learn another language fluently, especially if you want to work in Europe. Understand that politics are going to be in play. Understand that you will be baffled by why you didn't get the part. You had the recommendation, you had the referral, you had the look, you had the voice, you had the acting, and yet you still didn't get it. You know, it's. I'm going to paraphrase. I'm in a Star Trek mood. Forgive me, but he's not even my favorite captain. But it's paraphrasing a Picard quote. It is possible to do everything right and still fail, and that's just life.
Yeah, but if you continue to do everything right, the probability of you not failing goes up. Said if you continue to do everything right, the probability of not failing goes up if you continue to do it.
Well, correct. You know, like, and also pretty soon more doors will start to open. I will say too, like if doors didn't start opening for me, maybe it is time to go back to an office or something, you know, just because, you know, no matter how much I want to interpret the works of Mozart and Verdi and Puccini, I still have to pay my taxes. I still have to pay my car payment. I still have to pay for food. I still have to pay my dog's vet bill. You know, even art has to give way to reality. So follow your heart, but accept the realities of this career choice. Have fun, pursue your dreams, throw your mind, body, and soul into it, and just be prepared. That's all you got to do.
What are you most excited for now since you've, especially after this play?
I'm excited to tackle different aspects of performing arts. Like I'm going to be a featured extra in a movie that's shooting on Sunday that I got through Amadeus. I don't know what the difference is, but I think featured extra means I'm in the foreground, so you'll see me. I can't speak because I'm not a member of the SAG yet, but it was called featured extra, and if I'm defining it incorrectly, someone please tell me. But that's exciting, and a couple of celebrities I've heard of, who I'm actually fans of, are in it. And I'm hoping to I want to do everything, as I said. I want to do more opera. I want to be in movies. I want to just
purely
I want to be a Renaissance woman of the performing arts. I want to touch everything. I want to be able to do everything, I want to...
No favorites.
Well, they're like my children. You can't ask me to choose my favorite child.
Oh, yeah, you can. Some mothers will definitely tell you.
Well, I'm my mother's favorite child. Everybody knows that. But out of singing opera, acting in a movie, acting in television, acting in a play, doing voiceover work, I can't choose. I love them all. I just hope there's time to do them all.
I don't think there is.
I know. So
to master it.
Well, not to well, luckily, I'm not a master of anything.
Well, I think about this a lot in terms of like skill sets or hobbies or even just like business stuff. I'm just like, or I'm attracted to all these cool things. Or even you just do hobbies. We'll talk about like podcasting, juggling, golf, playing guitar. And I want to get good at all of them, but there's physically not enough time in the day to do all of it, especially with like work and passions and everything like that, And so like I've been struggling with figuring out how do I put my attention on which things?
Yeah, you have to figure out, okay, if in order to make it all fit, something has to give. And I think you mentioned earlier, you're going to possibly cut back on your training hours. Maybe that's something you could do. Like for me, though, there is a common thread. All the things I mentioned have one thing in common. They all involve acting, which is something I've been doing all of my life. Now, I will need some training because you cannot act the way I did in Amadeus and in Sonambuла for a movie unless I'm playing an opera singer because it's too much for a screen. It's way too much face. It needs to be subdued and honed in. So I want to get some lessons for acting and performing for the screen. That's why I'm so excited to be on set this Sunday because I want to be directed.
Nice.
I'm also lucky because the director he was in Amadeus, so it's going to be someone I know and trust to kind of guide me into this. So I hope this is just the starting off point, and maybe hopefully this year I can talk in a movie or a TV show. If anybody's watching, I live in LA and I'm available. We'll sing on screen in a movie. We'll talk on screen. Whatever you want.
Do you get nervous at all?
No. I get nervous about messing up.
Okay.
Not because of an audience, because I want to do so well and I don't want to mess up because I'm a perfectionist. Yes, but it's a different kind. It's not about singing. It's not about how many people are out there. Oh,
Butterflies?
No. Of excitement.
Okay.
No, those old hooks where they used to pull people off the stage?
Yeah.
That's the only way you're going to get me off there.
That's so funny. What are those? Was the purpose of that?
I actually don't know the history of it.
Yeah.
I just know how they used it as a gag later on.
Yeah.
But I'll have to look at the history
find
of
it
that.
right now.
Yeah, what was it?
What's it called?
I am curious. Like that giant hook they used to use to pull people off.
Hey, chat. What is the giant hook that was used to pull people off stage?
That's the classic vaudeville hook. Back in the days of vaudeville shows, if a performer was bombing or overstaying their welcome, someone backstage might use a big, exaggerated hook to gently or humorously yank them off stage. It became a bit of a cultural gag, definitely more symbolic than harsh. So if you were ever hooked, you knew it was time to exit.
That's real.
Oh!
I'm glad you think so. If you've got any other quirky curiosities, I'm here for them. No hook needed.
Thanks, chat.
Hey, take care, and we'll chat next time.
What app was that?
ChatGPT. It's the newest one. Yeah. So I just started like messing around with it and having full-on conversations like that.
ChatGPT?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, when I've logged on, it doesn't sound like that. Maybe I need to update it.
Oh, you could change your voice.
I know that, but like it doesn't even look like that though.
Oh.
But yeah. So
vaudeville hook.
Yeah, you will not need a vaudeville hook from me. Sorry, yes, correction. You will
need
to get me off of any kind of set.
Yeah,
because that is everything. It's just yeah. But so, as I said, it's. I'm lucky that it's not starting a new hobby or passion project.
They all come
from
together.
Scratch.
They all.
It's all part of the same tree. Different branches, same trunk.
Yesterday I interviewed this coach who said that elite athletes have elite tribes or elite families in terms of support, and so like the best athletes have the best support. And I guess in terms of acting, in terms of performing, do you have a supportive family for it?
I do. I have my family, of course, who support me. I have a wonderful teacher. I have 3 amazing best friends who, 2 of whom are in the arts, one of whom is deeply involved in the arts, behind the scenes and in front of the scenes.
Because it takes a whole tribe.
It does.
The Oscars just happened.
Yes.
And a lot of people who accept speeches, they're just like, it's not just me. It's
yes.
all these lists of people that helped you build up.
Yes. So you mean like Amadeus or my life as a singer?
No, as an entertainer.
Yeah. It's to get this voice ready requires a teacher, a coach, paternal support, romantic support, camaraderie, friend support, all these things, text messages here and there.
Dog lover support.
I forgot canine support.
Canine support.
Canine. This is the best support of all. That's his job.
What's the best part of having a dog?
Dogs make you stop and smell the roses. They make you realize a kind of love you didn't know could possibly exist. I take care of this fur-covered, 4-legged eating machine.
Eating machine
who costs me thousands in surgeries over the last couple years.
Oh, recently.
In food.
We haven't talked
about it. Yeah, he had a malignant, mass on his eye, and he had a non-malignant growth on his abdomen. And 2 years ago, he almost died. He had old dog vestibular disease, but I didn't know that's what it was at the time. And that's vestibular disease is not life-threatening, but it looked like he was going to die. He also makes me responsible. He needs me to be kept alive. And in return, I get this truly unconditional love. I mean, humans, yes, it's unconditional, but there are conditions sometimes.
I don't know if it is. You don't have a partner or a friend when every time you come home is happy to see you and wants to lick your face. No, that doesn't happen all day.
Yeah, and there has to be conditions, even in the most loving relationships. But dogs are completely unconditional. And just seeing when his lip gets stuck in his teeth. Or
up high.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or how happy he is when he sees me. How happy he was when he saw you, because it's been like 3 months since he's seen you.
That was so cool.
And
I've never seen him run like that.
You saw that because you realized, oh my God, this dog remembered me.
Yeah.
It's a joy that cannot be. I'm actually coming up short in how to describe this feeling.
Yeah.
So he's definitely probably chairman of my tribe.
Chairman of the tribe. Wilbur, chairman of the tribe.
Yeah, he's chair dog of the tribe.
Nice.
Yeah, he's so good.
I think Miss Michelle, we'll call it there. It's been 2 hours.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm delighted.
Where can everyone find you?
On my website, MichelleAllieDrever.com. And I have an Instagram, same handle. Lots of fun little clips where I sing. You can hear examples. I poke some fun on myself, pop culture. You can see some of my dog. And hear this voice I've been talking about the past 2 hours. So that's where you'll find me.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I'll put all the links for Michelle below. And I think there's videos if you want to check her out singing. And
yes, there's plenty of videos on Instagram and my website.
If anyone wants to connect with you, website or Instagram better?
Either.
Other?
Either probably Instagram. I'm
Okay.
always checking my DMs. Love it.
Slide in her
Just
DMs.
slide in my DMs.
All right, guys.
All right. Thank you
Peace.
so much. Bye.
Bye.